If you can't wait for new episodes of this podcast and you're in the UK, the whole series is available now, first on BBC Sounds.
BBC Sounds. Music, radio, podcasts.
Woo! We all want to live life to the fullest, feeling and looking our best. But as we get older, things can start to dwindle, droop or decline. So can you slow or even stop that happening? Keep that youthful glow and energy. Well, if you have science on your side, you can. I'm Dr. Michael Mosley, and this is Stay Young, a BBC Radio 4 podcast series where each episode we pick out one simple, scientifically proven thing you can start doing today to rejuvenate yourself from the inside out. Woo! That was quite tough. I've just finished a high-intensity training session where I've been doing a series of short sprints up the hills, which is why I'm so out of breath. Now, this type of intense aerobic exercise that really gets your heart rate going is one of the best things you could do to stay young. It not only helps build your muscle mass, but gives you more energy, boosts your immune system, improves your heart health, and keeps your brain sharp, which is why it can make you look and feel years younger, particularly if you get out of breath a bit. Now, one of the main reasons why exercise has such a rejuvenating effect is because it operates at a cellular level, encouraging your cells to make more mitochondria. You can think of mitochondria as tiny batteries that live inside our cells and provide them with energy. The better they're working, the better you function. And the quickest and most effective way to get them working optimally is the sort of high-intensity interval training I've been doing. More about that in a minute. But of course, any exercise or movement that gets your blood pumping will have a rejuvenating effect. And you can start at any age. I'm about to chat to Dr. Norman Lazarus, who didn't take up exercise until he was 50, yet he has managed to turn back the clock by decades. Hello, Norman.
Morning to you.
Norman, I believe you didn't start exercising regularly until your 50s. What got you going?
One day, there I was having lunch, and I looked down, and there in my lap was a roll of fat.
Okay, so something familiar to a lot of middle-aged people.
And I decided enough is enough. I've got to really change my lifestyle.
Now, I believe you took up cycling, but you did that to quite a radical degree. How much are you cycling at the moment?
I'm cycling at 100 kilometers a week, which I sometimes do in one ride if I'm feeling really good.
Right, and you are in your mid to late 80s, so that is pretty impressive.
Thank you very much. Once you are engaged in a physical activity that you love, you tend to keep at it. It's more for the enjoyment. The extra physical benefits I get are a plus.
Now, I know you originally trained as a doctor, and after you retired, you decided to look into the impact that doing cycling had on aging subjects, and you were one of them. Is that right?
That is correct.
I've looked at your paper and I was impressed by the fact that people remained fit and strong as they got older. But I was really surprised by the impact exercise had on your immune system, in particular inflammation, which tends to go up as we age.
Yes, we were surprised as well. Don't forget, we're looking at a group of people somewhere between 55 and 80, and we would have expected that there would be inflammation in this group. And to our surprise, what we found was that the anti-inflammatory hormones were increased in the blood. And it begins to raise questions about whether inflammation is in fact always associated with normal aging, or is it because people are adopting a lifestyle in which exercise is not part of that lifestyle?
So it turns out that one of the key findings was that in many ways, by continuing to do your cycling, you're actually balancing out the immune system. You're enabling it to function as it might have done when you were decades younger. Does that manifest itself in any way?
I haven't been to a doctor for, 25 years.
Wow. How long do you plan on going on like this?
Oh, I'll never stop. These years that I'm going through, because I've managed to keep myself optimally aging are some of the most satisfying years that I've had. And I would never want to stop that.
What an inspiring man. Now, fortunately, you don't have to cycle 100 kilometres a week to stay young. It only requires a surprisingly little amount of exercise to take years off the way you feel and even look. Take those lines and wrinkles. In one study, older volunteers cycled for just 30 to 45 minutes twice a week, and after 3 months had increased their collagen levels, making their skin look years younger. For more about skin, check out the Stay Looking Young episode in this series, available on BBC Sounds. Exercise also comes with big benefits for your heart. Incredibly, after just 30 minutes of exercise, you start releasing stem cells from your bone marrow to help you make new blood vessels. But even shorter, 2-minute stints of vigorous activity can improve your heart health. A recent study, following over 70,000 adults, found that just 10 2-minute bouts of exercise a week was associated with a 16% lower risk of heart disease. But from my perspective, one of the most important benefits is the impact that exercise has on the brain. In one of my favourite studies, just 40 minutes of brisk walking 3 times a week increased the size of the memory part of the brain, the hippocampus, which is extraordinary because it normally shrinks with age. How? Well, it's thought that brisk walking triggered the release of a molecule called brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF, which stimulates new brain cells and protects existing ones. But you can get bigger benefits even more quickly if you exercise in short, vigorous bursts. That's why it's known as high-intensity interval training, or HIIT. A recent small study from New Zealand showed that doing 6 short 40-second bursts on an exercise bike boosted levels of BDNF by up to 5 times more than doing 90 minutes of gentler cycling. Exercise and high-intensity interval training in particular really can have a potent rejuvenating effect across your entire body, from your immune system to your brain, your skin, and to your heart. And scientists think a lot of that is down to your mitochondria, the power sources within your cells. To find out more, I'm speaking to Professor Matthew Robinson from Oregon State University. Hi, Matthew.
Hi, Michael. Thanks for having me.
Pleasure. Now, I, like many of us, am very keen to stay young. So how are mitochondria involved?
Mitochondria are our main sites of energy production within the cell. Now, we oftentimes think about that with muscle contractions and movement, but energy is used for all processes within the cell. So mitochondria help supply these with a lot of energy in order to function properly.
Right. So basically, they're super important for keeping your cells energized, if you like. And I assume as you get older, their function tends to diminish.
Absolutely. Part of the normal aging process is a decrease in the amount of mitochondria and their function. So it's a challenge when we get into aging because that's underlying a number of these declines that we see across the body.
So mitochondria are absolutely vital for a whole range of things. How can you potentially rejuvenate them with exercise?
So exercise is a strong way to rejuvenate mitochondria. An analogy is parts in our car, for example, can develop rust, and those rusty parts need to be removed and then replaced. The same concept applies with mitochondria. Now, where exercise fits in is exercise stimulates both the removal of older mitochondria and the synthesis of new mitochondria.
So essentially, you're clearing out the junk, which makes space for new, better working engine parts. Now, I know you did a fascinating study looking at which type of exercise is best for boosting mitochondria. Can you tell me about that?
Sure. So we studied the effects of 3 different types of exercise on mitochondria. So we studied high-intensity intervals, compared that to resistance training, and then a combination group that did some aerobic training and resistance training. A younger group that was 18 to 30 years old, and an older group that was over 65.
And what did you find?
We found that the mitochondrial activity increased quite robustly after the HIIT training. So in our younger group, we saw increases of approximately 40 to 50%. And in the older groups, we saw increases of upwards of 60 to 70%.
Well, that is hugely encouraging, particularly if you're over 65 like I am. So what were you asking the HIIT group, the high-intensity group, to do?
We asked the HIIT group to perform high-intensity cycling intervals These were 4 minutes at a near maximal intensity, so they were pretty breathless at the end of these bouts, interspersed with periods of rest. So we did 4 of those sessions, and we did that 3 times a week.
Now, that doesn't sound too onerous. How long was the study? How long did people have to do this for?
So our project was 3 months long, and that was a strong way in order to see a lot of these robust improvements. We also have recently completed a study where people participated in 2 weeks of high-intensity interval training, where they just completed 7 sessions of HIIT.
So in just 2 weeks, you began to see changes?
Absolutely.
How can you tell if you're pushing yourself hard enough to get a benefit?
It all boils down to, is my heart rate really elevated? And can I carry on a conversation? If you can carry on a conversation, it's probably not high enough intensity.
Now, would it be fair to say that doing HIIT can really turn back these clocks, if you like, across your entire body?
Indeed, it does help to turn back that mitochondrial clock. Exercise can help restore some of those levels to those that we oftentimes see in younger adults.
Now, what's really interesting about this is that mitochondria are found throughout your body. And so presumably, the exercise is not only building muscle and helping that improve, but it is also doing things in your brain and indeed lots of other organs in your body.
Absolutely. So we performed a sub-analysis on the people who did HIIT training. And what was fascinating here was that after the HIIT training, there was an increase in metabolic activity in a number of regions within the brain, really emphasizing this idea that it's not just the muscles that are seeing improvements, but other tissues as well.
Okay, so I'm completely sold on this. How do you recommend people start doing high-intensity interval training?
What's helpful about high-intensity intervals is they're very versatile and can be incorporated in a number of different ways. If somebody is not at all exercising, it's a way to just look through your daily life and say, is there a way I could maybe do a short bout to get my heart rate up a little bit? So maybe looking around an office building and taking the stairs. If someone does a regular walking routine, it's increasing their pace for maybe a minute or 2 minutes. Now, if somebody is currently exercising, incorporating a very high intense workout, maybe 1 day a week, is an opportunity where somebody can reach the next stage in their training.
What I love about your suggestions is they are all incredibly doable.
Absolutely. It is a very adaptable training program.
So, high-intensity exercise can train up your mitochondria and reverse signs of aging, helping rejuvenate you across your entire body. Whether it is HIIT or anything else, do check with your GP if you are starting a new exercise regime, or if you have any previous injuries. Inspired by Norman, I'm off for a bit of a cycle in a moment. And because where I live is very hilly, I will make sure to put in some short bursts of high-intensity interval training on the way up those steep hills. And as Professor Robinson pointed out, you can get benefits by briefly picking up the pace while cycling, running, swimming, or just when you're walking. I am not someone who loves exercise, but this is a very simple way to rejuvenate the mitochondria in my cells and keep my muscles, my heart, my immune system, brain and skin younger for longer. And all in a remarkably short period of time. There you go. One simple lifestyle change you can do to stay young. To hear more of the series, why not subscribe on BBC Sounds? On the next episode of Stay Young, how a daily portion of brightly coloured fruit or veg can reduce your wrinkles and help you stay looking young.